Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I've missed you guys. I really have. I have missed doing live stream videos. It has been a minute. It has been quite some time since I have done one. So, hey, welcome back. I hope everyone is doing fabulous. I see it's kind of dark, so I'm going to get a little bit more of my light in here because it's kind of dark, and hopefully it won't follow me, which has happened before, so hopefully it won't happen today. Hey, everybody. So glad to see everyone back again. I'm going to go back to doing live stream. I had to take a little bit of a break, a little hiatus, which does happen from time to time, and I would not be good at what I do if I could not maintain and demonstrate what happens when you start to transform. If I couldn't do that properly, I really need to come up with like a better background. Like, this is my little like recording closet, and I want to make it all pretty. I keep saying, like, if you're gonna do these live streams, you have to have a much prettier background. So I'm gonna work on a very pretty background because I'm not a fan of it. So a few things, reasons I went on hiatus. All sorts of crazy stuff happened. Not really crazy. It was just transformational. With relationships that didn't work out, unfortunately, which is very disappointing. Also some life journey stuff. Some really close creatures and people in my life have passed to their next stage of their journey, so that was hard to get through. And just general life stuff, just reevaluating, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? Why isn't this working out? Why isn't this as easy? Why isn't this flowing as well? Maybe I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur. All these same things, everything that you guys are going through as creative entrepreneurs, I'm also going through it as well. So, because like I said, I wouldn't be very good at what I do if I couldn't, walk the talk. Like, if I couldn't like keep up with my own stuff. So yeah, and when that happens to me, because it will happen, it happens to everybody. It happens to everybody. Even if you're not a creative entrepreneur, it just happens whenever you're taking on really big things. So it doesn't have to be that way. Just traditionally, that's how we think of it. Because remember, in terms of mindset, you create your reality by how you perceive it. So we shift and perceive our reality every second of the day. So if you don't like the way your life is, you have to kind of rethink of, okay, well, what am I putting out there? How am I perceiving this? What energy am I putting out there? So if that's what I believe, then I can't really sit here and say that, well, I had to have all these terrible, painful things happen. I didn't have to. That is just how, based on my background, based on what has gone on with me in my life, that's how I have put through the learn a lesson. So then I start thinking, well, then learn the lesson so then you can get through to the next stage. So whenever things stop going right, if it doesn't feel easy, anytime it starts to feel out of alignment, I call it, when it starts to feel like you're really like pulling teeth, or you're dragging through, or you're trying to make things work and it is 10 times harder than it feels like it needs to be. Like, nothing's working, like you're trying to force it. I also akin it to trying to force a square peg into a circular hole. You can do it eventually. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be pretty, and you have to wonder, do I even need to do this? So whenever things like that start happening, pay attention, especially the things that are happening, you feel like you're on a loop. Like, I've been through this before. Oh, this is the same type of person. And for anything in your life, like, oh, gosh, when you hear yourself saying, like, oh, why do I always end up in jobs like this? Why do I always find clients like this? Oh my gosh, why do I always find men, women, people like this? Why can't I find a good partner? Well, the common denominator in all these is you. So you have to start asking yourself, all right, so what am I doing to put out there? How am I attracting this to me? Like I've said before, I'm not saying that you are exonerating anyone and people don't have to stand up and take care of their own stuff. What I'm saying is, when you start really looking at your part in any situation, the good news is you are taking back control. Because if you don't have any part in a negative situation, that means you just you just have to go with whatever someone else dictates to you, and that doesn't feel good. So when you start taking responsibility for how your life is turning out, the good news is then you can change it. So that's what I did for myself. Whenever things start not going the right, it feels out of alignment, it just feels wonky, it feels bad, my go-to thing is, okay, back to basics. Let me get back to my mindset work. Let me find some new tools if I need to. So fortunately, I was able to just use it. I have a lot of tools in my toolkit for mindset already. So I did start to read a new book. I'm gonna do another live stream on it. It was amazing. It's a really, really amazing piece of work, and working through that, and also just going back to basics, getting really quiet, meditating, getting yourself quiet and calm, reconnecting to source, how you view that energy source, God, universe, or whatever. I'm gonna call it God. I'm gonna take a page out of my mindset coach's book, because it gets really tiresome to say, oh, universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it. Let's just put that as a blanket statement for everything. So if I say source, if I say God, it's all the same. But taking the time to meditate, get quiet, and just check in with yourself and say, how am I feeling? What's going on with me? What do I really want? Lots of journaling, lots and lots and lots of journaling. I wrote so many journal entries, and getting real with myself about what hurt. I'll use a relationship for an example, because that was a big deal. Just really putting down on paper, like, what hurt, like what exactly hurt about the whole thing. What exactly was the most painful part? What exactly did I feel was being lost? And writing it down and facing it. It was not fun to face. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not fun to face these things. It's not. It doesn't matter if it's fun, because ultimately you are trying to heal those parts of yourself that need healing, so you can move on forward to your purpose. You can get to the work. Sometimes the work is the healing, and that is amazing too. So, but you have to face it, because even if you're using your work as the healing, you're still facing it. You're putting it out there, you're acknowledging it, you're giving it a name, you're looking at it, and you're dealing with it instead of pushing it down and hiding it and ignoring it at all costs. So really just writing down what hurt and how that has mimicked hurt in the past, and what does that mean for me in the future, and what I really want to do with all this. So very eye-opening, lots of snotty tears, lots of just freedom too, just feeling free and releasing, because anytime things don't work and you're feeling as though you're off track, whenever that happens, if you take the time to acknowledge, look at it, dissect it, understand it, look at your responsibilities in the situation, look at what works, look at what doesn't. When you take the time to do that, and I believe this for so long, you can go ahead and rest easy and trust that you are opening the door for the next amazing thing. So anytime you have that heartache, anytime you have that disappointment, anytime you have that, get through it, face it, deal with it, acknowledge it, let your feelings go in, and then you're opening the door for something new and amazing to come through. So that is what I did. And yeah, then I sit in that happy expectation of like, all right, so my next amazing thing will come. And it already is. Not relationship-wise quite yet. So, you got any cute friends, send them my way. But the thing what I started to get through is looking at what do I want? Like I've said, there's things I want, and how do I want to connect with clients, and how do I want to work with folks like you, and who do I want to work with? Like what exactly is my purpose? And what I've realized is a lot of the stuff that I have done that I kind of struggled through, and I was like, I don't know about doing this, is because of looking at other people's success and copying what they did. And it's like, okay, well, let me try this, let me try that. And I know a lot of my clients do the same thing. You just go from tactic to tactic to tactic to tactic to tactic. Like, okay, let me try that. Okay, that didn't work. I'm going to try this down. And I always thought that was just the best way to go. It is if you really have no idea. I mean, at least you're doing something. The thing is, though, ultimately, you can save a lot of time if you first take the time to check in with yourself and are honest and realistic. Not even realistic, just honest, and get deep with where your mindset is at and what you actually want. So it's not enough to say, I want to get married, or it's not enough to say, like, I want to work in Hollywood. It's not enough to say, I want to sell 300 paintings. Or you have to get really specific to see the best results, because you will get those things and then still feel empty inside because you didn't actually take the time to say, why do I want this? Where is that desire coming from? What do I want this to do for me? How do I want this to affect my life and the lives of others? How do I want this thing to make a dent in the world? So that's the important part, because you're going to attract whatever it is. And if you're attracting, and what if you're thinking about and the things that you want, if it comes from a place of pain or hurt or revenge or trying to get over on someone else, that's what you're going to attract still, because that's what you're putting out there. So you save yourself some time and get right with it. So looking at, there were some bright points. I don't want everyone to think that it's been like gloom and doom the whole time. But also looking at what is key and important to me. So your takeaway from all this, I want everyone watching this too, as a creative entrepreneur, to really go through the steps to say, why am I doing this? Like, what is my ultimate goal? Where is this going for me? How does this connect me to my source? Like, how am I going to make this big picture thinking? If you want to be a creative entrepreneur because you just want to show other people up and you want to have this moment of like, well, they told me I couldn't, I told you so, go back, start doing some EFT work, start releasing that, because that sense of anger is just going to block you, and you're going to keep drawing in more people that you have to feel challenged to. It's not going to help. If you're looking to get married or have a long-term partner and you keep saying like, well, I just want to get married, I just want to get married, ask yourself why. Because, like, really go through the 5 whys. Go through, I have so many courses out there, I have so many videos talking about it, I'm going to keep talking about it, but go through and say why do I want this? And also go through is, if you're not seeing what you want, ask yourself, how am I benefiting from not having it? Because there's probably a reason. The reason you don't have it is because there's something in you that's saying, I don't want to have it, or I'm attracting the wrong thing, or I'm attracting something that I don't want. It's not wrong. It's just, you're attracting what you're attracting. So go through as a creative entrepreneur so you can have the best possible sense of success and really get down deep with why you want it. That's what mindset is. Mindset isn't just going through a bunch of affirmations over and over and over and over and over again. It's understanding, knowing that we create our reality through our thoughts and how we perceive the world. It gets into some really high-end quantum physics-y type of thing, but it all comes down to, if we create the experiences that we have by our perception and the energy we're putting out there and how we connect with other people, if we are creating this, that means we have the ability to shape and shift and mold as true artists and create the life that is going to benefit us and the world around us. And that's beautiful abundance. So that's mindset, not just a bunch of crazy affirmations. It's deeper than that. So take the time to get quiet. It doesn't have to take your whole day. Just pay attention and get quiet and say, you know what did I like about this? Look at your last biggest disappointment and go through and say, what did I want about this? What didn't I want, even though I wanted it? And why did I go after it? Like, why? Did you go after it because you actually wanted it and you're like, yeah, I want to think bigger, I think I'm thinking too small? Or did you go after it because someone told you to? someone said, you should really do this. And you're like, okay, sure, whatever. But you really didn't have any connection to it. What I've learned, so some of the good things is I love my kids. I do. I realize how important to me being in my family or having my family or growing my family really, really, really is to me. It's not something that, it's not a throwaway thing. It is the thing. It's like my everything. So I'm going to have some coffee as I move my camera around with my fancy mug. I love this mug. I want like 12 more of these mugs. But I got to take my kids to a soccer tournament. So I'm a soccer mom on top of all the other subversive, amazing things I do, but I am a soccer mom. Having never played a sport in my life, but I have two very athletic children. But I loved it. I love spending time with them, even when it's hard. And sometimes it's hard, which was a part of the challenge in said relationship. Because sometimes it's hard. And that's okay, because it's always beautiful. And I realized part of, one, I love connecting with them. I love watching them grow. I love helping them grow. And two, a big thing for me is creating legacy. That is key importance to me. I understand that my time on this planet, in this vessel, in this body, is limited. I don't have forever and ever. I'm hoping to have a really long time. That's the goal. But I don't know. I have no way of knowing. So my time is limited. So I am looking to plant those seeds, create that legacy, teach them everything I can. So then starting from this point in my family ancestral history where I've come from before, starting from this point, we move forward with a new sense of love, commitment, healing from the past. So that is, and that's, so it's not just, I love being a mom. Like, it's not that. It's really like, I am trying to redirect the course of the history that has come before me in a healing, growing relationship. So from this family forward, they have the tools and the connection and the love they need to continue on with their journey for generations and generations and generations to come. Now that is a goal. So I want to do more of that. I want to spend more time with them. I want to have more resources to be able to choose how I spend time with them and when I spend time with them. The other big thing is, in terms of legacy, the world is shifting right now. I've talked about how important I think artists and creative people are to cultural shift, to helping whole peoples and communities and cultures move in various directions. I think now especially is a big time for that. So I want to be a part of making that shift happen. I can't create all the art. I don't know how, and I don't do all the art, but I appreciate all the art. What I can do is help create those seeds and that legacy for other artists to cheer, to show, to guide, to encourage as many people as possible to get creative. Because the more people that we can do that, then the more the creative folk and the artists and everyone out there can hasten this transcendence of our society to get us to the next level. Whether you create it or ingest it or are surrounded by it or acknowledge it. So that's a pretty big legacy too. So how I go about that. The wonderful news is when you get deep, when you get quiet, deep, really look at what moves me, what is my ultimate purpose, why am I doing this, the universe comes and sends to you, just pours out to you all the resources you need. You have to pay attention because sometimes you miss it. You say, oh, I didn't even pay attention to that. That'll be the next live stream. But when you start to acknowledge really what you want, you get the resources that you need. It's like, okay, here you go. And if you are putting out things that you don't like, if you're doing things for purposes that you don't agree with, then you're going to get resources that you don't really want or need. Ugh, there's a bug in my... I'll get rid of that later. So get clear on what you want and you will get what you need. So I have every confidence that from this point forward, I'm going to get the resources that I need to be able to accomplish that. And two, it also helps guide me in terms of what to do next. Gosh, me and a bunch of my clients, I hear that all the time. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. And my pushback is like, well, have you defined what you want? Do you know what you want? Do you really know what you want? You might have said, like, you might have given me a tactic, like, well, I want to get married. Well, I want $1 million. Well, I want to... But did you get down to why and what the purpose is and what you really want? Because if that is the case, then when your goals are crystal clear like that, then it makes very clear sense what to do next. You're going to be offered opportunities and you're going to know exactly which ones to take. So knowing that family is important, how I reach out to artists is important. Obviously, then these live streams are a no-brainer because that's a really fast way to reach out to people and see people. Hey, Jen, how are you? So it's a really, really fast way to connect to people. I could talk to people directly. I could do it anytime. It'll come from my home and be able to continue to coach and encourage people. So really, really get deep, get clear, write it down, face your blockages, face them, acknowledge them, because if you're not, you're gonna get whatever you're putting out there. So you really need to get clear about what do I really, really want and ask for it, and then trust that you are going to get it, because you will. If you're only going halfway, you're only get halfway results. So get deep with it. What is your ultimate goal? How do you want to connect with the world around you? How are you trying to be a servant to other people? Ultimately, what effects do you want to see by the work that you do? Ask for that, and then you will get the opportunities, and then your next steps will become crystal clear. So a lot of my tactics that I've used in the past, I'm going to buy Facebook ads, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run marathon. Realizing now that those were all just things that I was copying from someone else. And like, I don't know what to do. I'll try this. I'll try that. That's like closing your eyes and throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean, you can get there eventually, but we can streamline this process. You can get there eventually. It's going to be very painful and very tiresome. And you're going to have spaghetti all over your floor. You guys, you don't need to have spaghetti all over the floor. Okay. So that's it for now, because I have another appointment. So there's going to be more live streams. I've gotten through my hiatus. I've come out of the cocoon and ready to take on some things. So I'm really excited. So yeah, I'll be doing another live stream today, I think, about next topic. So if there's any topics you're interested in, put them down below. Shoot me a DM. Pop them on my wall. Check out, I made some discounts to some courses, because I'm going to be adding some more courses. So some free, some discounted. So I put the link down below. And that's it for now. So I will talk to you all later. I'm glad to be back. I miss doing these live streams. They're a lot of fun. If you have any questions, just give me a shout out and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.